Hello, hello. Hi. Hi, how are y'all doing? Are y'all enjoying your Saturday nights or maybe your Sunday, right? I hope everyone's having a good time. Sorry I wasn't able to stream yesterday. I was a little bit preoccupied at a wedding. But I had a lot of fun. And I've got, some stuff to talk about from it, so, it was a good day. I did miss you all, though. I missed streaming and I missed my lovely viewers, and I'm happy to be back. So, I hope everyone's ready to have a good night. Good. Why is good night like a go away thing? I really feel like good night should be an acceptable greeting, like good morning, or good day, or good evening, right? But whatever. English being a bad language as per usual. Ready to chill? I'm glad, Skill Issue. I'm glad you're ready to chill. I too am ready to chill. I feel like it's been a very long week for me. So I'm looking forward to just, hanging out. Hanging out. It's been mildly stressful because I've had some deadlines coming up, and I still have some deadlines coming up, but I think while I'm streaming is not a good time to worry about those, so I think stream's a great time to just, let go. Although, I mean, to be honest, I've been sorta just sorta letting go all day today. I mean, I spent some time by the pool, spent some time in the hot tub, just relaxing when I really should have been doing productive stuff, right? I spent some time watching some other streams. I watched some of Faye's streams earlier today. Then I had nice, easy takeout dinner from Panda Express, which I haven't had in a very long time. English is bad, but Mandarin Chinese as a spoken language is worse. Huh, interesting. I think I have seen YouTube shorts of that where they talk about how many different words you can are sound the same. And I mean, I know there are English words that are like that. Hi, Mystery. Give me 1 second because I realized I forgot to put my YouTube chat on my OBS. Just realized that it would cause problems, so I'm sorry if I missed your hello earlier. I can't be that far behind, though, because I only started stream just now. Fine. There we go. But yeah, I mean, today's been a relaxed day for me. I feel like I sort of needed it. I felt really exhausted after the week. The work week was it was Kay's last week, and so yesterday, Friday, was her last day, and we were prepping for it, and it was kind of sad. And then I had to leave midday in the middle of the workday because I had to go to the wedding. But I don't know. It was just, there's a lot going on this week for me. Even though I can't say it was really that much more, some things feel like they're more, right? Some things feel like they're a huge effort, even if you just sort of have to, go through them, right? Even driving, right? Why is driving so tiring? Because, I had to drive, an hour or two to get to the wedding. And driving is literally you just sit there. It shouldn't take much energy to drive. I sort of agree, Mystery. I think driving can be fun, right? Especially, for me, I just, turn on my favorite playlist, and I'm just, chilling my way through, right? But whenever I finish a drive, I always feel exhausted. Enjoy your food, Skill Issue. Yeah, I mean, I always just feel so tired after a drive. Even when they're sort of short, if it's even like a 30-minute drive, if I'm coming home from somewhere, I normally just like, I get home and I'm like, ooh, bed. Bed looks so comfy. Bed looks so comfy. Or the couch looks so comfy. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess mentally driving is like a sort of taxing thing, because driving like really is, and you know, rightfully so, something that demands a lot of attention. You're not confident enough for driving, Sapo Boy? What do you mean? Do you not drive? Or, like, are you an inexperienced driver? Do you live somewhere where you don't have to drive? Because that's sort of cool, right? I miss my college days where I didn't really have to drive. Those were nice, where I would just, you know, bike to class or walk, and everything I needed, you know, that's all I needed, right? Occasionally I'd take the bus, you know? Bus is pretty nice too. But now, as like a working age adult in the States, I feel like 95, maybe even 99% of working class adults need to be able to drive in the States. So, you had a 1-hour commute each way to work. I think I would die. I think I would die. And like, that makes sense though, that you'd pick roads that are fun. But like, I feel like if you're actively picking roads, then you're probably increasing your commute time. If you need to go somewhere, you use bus or your parent. Okay, I see. But what do you mean that like you're not confident enough for driving, right? Like you don't feel like do you have a license? Are you legally able to drive and you just don't like it? Because that's pretty understandable, right? I mean, of course you have to live in a place where that's sustainable, right? So in your situation, using the bus, but I feel like if you have a license, you probably can drive. You may be just not comfortable, which I get, right? Yeah, now I sort of wish I lived in like Japan or somewhere where you like driving really wasn't that necessary. You don't have a license. Oh, okay. And it's like a choice thing. You're just choosing not to have a license? Or are you like too young? Maybe, probably not too young? I don't know. Really depends. Where you live might be like, it might be common for people not to really drive that much, right? If you have good public transportation where you are. Where I has public transportation, but it's not as heavily, what's the right words? I don't think it runs as much of a schedule as I'd like, because I am a little bit of a free spirit and like to just like up and randomly do things, like even late at night. Interesting mystery that it only adds like a couple minutes. Especially like when you say roads that are fun to drive. I'm normally thinking of like roads that are like super curvy and like through the hills, right? I think a lot of people think stuff like that is considered fun to drive, but I don't know. Those like hilly, swervy roads actually kind of make me nervous. Just choose to not have a license? You have a lack of dexterity, so you don't think it's going to help. Well, I mean, that's understandable. But we've got all these car companies working on, you know, self-driving cars, so maybe you'll still be able to handle a car, you know, sometime relatively soon within our lifetime. Or you could just, you know, continue using public transportation. That's pretty reasonable. It doesn't seem to be hindering you, right? It's not stopping you from doing anything. So, as long as you can do everything you want to. I mainly just like having the car because I feel like it grants me freedom. But I think there are a lot of people who don't necessarily feel that from having a car. Or they don't, they live more rigorously scheduled lives. But cars are really fun. Yeah, Mystery, I mean, I certainly see that point of view. I think cars are very interesting. And I think cars can be very enjoyable to drive. But I also, if you gave me the opportunity to never have to drive again in my life, you gave me like a really good self-driving car, or you like gave me the option to have a chauffeur for the rest of my life, I would take it. Like, I wouldn't even hesitate. I'd just be like, oh yeah, chauffeur for the rest of my life? Done. Easy. Easy clap. Not even a question. Because it just... sometimes it feels like a little bit of a chore and a little bit of a commitment. And I definitely would... I'm a little bit of a Dumbo. Little bit of a airhead. So I would prefer things where, like, if I zone out, I don't, like, possibly die. You never want a self-driving car? Let me ask you, do you drive stick shift? Are you one of those people who enjoys, like, every bit of driving? You really like... you'd like to drive stick shift? I mean, I sort of get it, right? It's sort of like... it's more engaging that way, but... if you offered me, like, a really, really nice car, but it was stick shift, I would probably still not take it. Maybe. I had a suspicion. Are you into, like, old retro cars? Or old fancy cars? Sapo Boy, do you perchance, like, how do you feel about, like, biking? I mean, I know you said lack of dexterity, but I don't know if, you're good at doing other things. Or, like, those motorized scooters. That sounds... by the way, that sounds like... they look, like, sort of chill, but the more I think about it, the motorized scooters are, like, death machines. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. There's no protection. Your oldest car is a 2000? Okay. I mean, so not like... oh my god. I was going to say that's not, like, old. It's not, like, retro, but... I think that technically is retro now. I remember from my childhood, our main family car was a year 2000 car, and now realizing that that's, like, considered old, I feel old. I feel old. But such is life. All the rubber components are retro? What do you mean rubber components? Like, what part of your car used to be rubber and nowadays is not rubber? Like, I feel like everything that used to be rubber is still rubber. Last time you used a bike was like 5 years ago. Interesting, Sapo Boy. Very interesting. I mean, do you not like biking? I sort of enjoy biking. But I also feel like biking is like a little bit of a commitment, and also very scary to bike on open roads, because biking on open roads, I feel like you're gonna get hit by a car. And then, of course, car versus bike, everyone knows car's winning, right? There's no chance bike's winning against car. Oh, oh, so you're just talking about, like, material failures that happen in your older components from the old cars. But your new cars aren't. I see. I thought you were talking about, like, oh yeah, these old 2000 cars have rubber, and, modern cars don't use rubber. And I was, like, confused, 'cause I didn't know what would be rubber back then that's not rubber now. I don't know. Maybe you might have like seals cracking or something like that. That wouldn't surprise me. That stuff always happens to, old things. Old things, they all fail eventually. Not me though, because I'm not old. Seriously. I'm not old. And when I was talking with my cousins at the wedding, they didn't say anything about me being old and alone, and the fact that I'm the only cousin who's not married. They didn't say anything about that. They didn't look at me, I'll look at Belle and be like, well, Belle, now you're the last one standing. No, they didn't. They did not say that. And I am not grumpy about it. No. But seriously, all my cousins are married now. I'm a target. Such a target. You had no uses for bikes anymore, so that's why you stopped. Oh, I guess that makes sense, right? You've replaced all the suspensions, bushings, vacuum lines, etc. Oh, I see. So, I mean, then your car's probably, for the most part, good to go. I mean, I don't know what other components in your car might fail, in that time, since I guess it's been 24 years. Holy cow. Hi, Glans. Hi, how are you? I'm just sitting here, casually chatting, telling my viewers about how I went to my cousin's wedding yesterday, and then they all turned and looked at me, and they're like, So, Belle, you're the last one? You're the last one who's not married? And then they just gave me that smug look of, it's just you, Belle. Little do they know, I don't need a spouse. I have my lovely loyal viewers. Don't make that face at me, Mr. E. Don't make that face. That's rude. That's rude. If you make rude faces at me, you're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret it. By the way, I'm so excited because I commissioned our emotes, and I'm so excited for you guys to like see them when they finish. I'm in talks with the artist right now while they work on it. Tell them to find a girl for me. I mean, I could do that, but I feel like doing that is admitting defeat, because they were also they're also sort of giving me shit. Okay, they're giving me shit because like we were just, we do the like normal band. I don't see my cousins that often, so when we do see each other, it's like the normal like small talk stuff of like, oh, how do you like where you are, what's up with your job, blah 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 blah. And what came up was that I don't cook, right? I don't cook. I only, eat food that's either like made by someone else, like I bought it, or like occasionally I'll have like frozen meals or stuff like that. But one of my cousins was like, Belle, you don't cook? What's wrong with you? You're like insane. You're crazy. You mad woman. Why? Like when you start dating, you're gonna realize how weird that is, and no one's gonna, like, you're gonna talk with people and they're gonna be like, what, you don't cook? And I was, the fact that he was like, when you start dating, they're gonna think it's weird. I was like, I will kill you. I will kill you. There's nothing wrong with the way I live my life. There is nothing wrong with the way I live my life. And if you think that I can't find someone who accepts me with the way I live my life, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And if I then went back and I was like, hey, can you introduce me to a girl? I know. That would be admitting defeat. That would be admitting defeat, and we can't have that. I'm too prideful. Although, there was a really cute girl there. I maybe should have asked to get introduced to her. But it was this really cute girl, and she was wearing... Chat, she was wearing a suit. And not just a suit. She was wearing a suit, including a bow tie and a vest. So, like... Guys, it's like my outfit. Except, I mean, the bow tie is like a little sleazer, right? But, like... I mean, you guys can see from the way I chose my outfit that I really like vests. And she looked good in that vest. She looked so cute. She had these big old, like, nerd glasses on. Do you guys know what I'm talking about when I say, like, the nerd glasses? They're like the, what you think of as, like, the hipster glasses. Let me see if I can find, let's see if VTube Studio has a set of them. And maybe I can put them on, and I can show you how cute she looked, because she looked cute. Do. Glasses? No, they don't look like this. They don't, yeah. Do. I guess these are close enough. Maybe? Tell them I can't cook because I can burn the kitchen, and if you say too much, I won't only burn that thing that's good. Did I tell you guys I almost burned down my apartment? This is why we have fire alarms, thankfully. But, like, what it was I was boiling some water, and you know how when you're boiling water, it seems like it takes forever for the water to boil? So you always want something else to, like, take your attention during that time? So I went and I was like, oh, I'll just, you know, do my Wuthering Waves dailies. Or I don't think it was that. It was something like that, you know? Something small. And then I got sort of distracted. I got a little bit distracted. They were like, you know, this sort of frame shape, by the way. When I'm talking about, like, the girl with the cute glasses. Except they weren't, like, sunglasses, so the lenses were clear and they were black. Maybe I'll find, like, a better PNG on the interwebs. But, so I was like, oh, I'll just, you know, do some quick dailies. And then, of course, you get distracted, right? And then next thing I know, I hear beep, beep, beep from the fire alarm in my apartment. And I run over and I look at the pot of water. Of course, there's no longer any water in the pot of water. It is just a pot. I turn off the fire immediately, right? I turn off the stove immediately. And my house doesn't burn down. But it was literally like, so you have your, like, boiling pot of water, right? And your water's like, normally, I mean, maybe it's that my water's, like, not amazing quality, right? But my water had, like, all evaporated, of course, because I was boiling it. And all that was left was the pot, and on the inside there's, like, little white, like, residue from whatever minerals were left in the water. And of course I knew that thing had to be, like, super hot. I just casually touched the plastic part of the handle, right? The insulated part. And I could feel it was still, like, I mean, I could feel, you know, for plastic. It was probably harder than it should have been, but it was still, like, because it's plastic and it's insulation, like, it still hadn't heated up to, like, the point where it was scalding me. So what I did was...
Hello, my Oshi. How are you?
Hi, Ash. Oh my god, you reminded me that I need to make sure my redeems are working, because I didn't have tits on. Shit. I was just yapping about how I accidentally almost burned down my apartment, like, 2 months ago. And how I went to a wedding yesterday, and my cousins were, like, sort of getting on my nerves because they were like, So, Belle, now you're the last one. You're the last one. You're the only one of our set of cousins on that side of family who's not married. And they were like, you know, just sort of casually poking at me. But like, I'll show them. I don't need a spouse. I have viewers. And when I'm the next internet sensation, I'll be the next Mr. Beast. Then we'll see. Then we'll see who's laughing. Cause even if they became Mr. Beast overnight, they would have to share all that money with their spouses. And if I become Mr. Beast, I get all the money. It all goes to Belle. Everything belongs to Belle. Wait, Glance, why did your father almost burn the house down? Is that like, I feel like that's bad. Okay, I think the tits are on. My #1 fan, Ash? I mean, just be with me all the way to the top, Ash. It'll be great. When I'm like Mr. Beast, you can be like which one's his #2? Is it Carl? Is Carl like the #2 for Mr. Beast? Thank you. Man, I wish I had rigged my model properly so the glasses and stuff would turn properly. Now they do. They do this. Yes, indeed. This is how physics works. My glasses, like, poke me in the eye. But yeah, Ash, I was telling... The reason I have these glasses on is because I was talking about... At the wedding, there was this really cute girl. And she was wearing glasses, but, like... I mean, I think the glasses really added to her features, but the best thing was that she didn't wear a dress. She wore a suit, like a full suit, with a bow tie and a vest, right? And she, like, when it was time to be on, like, the dance floor, right? And she took off, like, the like, jacket, and she's just in the vest. It looked like this. Like, she looked good. The vest looked good on her, right? Right? Just like me. You don't think you've ever seen a Mr. Beast video, Mystery? I mean, it's like normal internet, like, brain... Actually, no. It's slightly better than brain rot. What I do feel like it is, I feel like it's like one of those... You know, in the 2000s, there were, like, all those, you know, game shows, right? Like Survivor challenges, right? Like, it feels like a 2000s game show when I watch Mr. Beast videos. Yeah, Ash. Girls in vests are peak, right? Right? Peak. Especially when they're cute. And they're blonde. And they have these cute little fangs to suck your blood with. or if they have these nice like blue highlights. Frosted tips for their hair. You know, they wear all this cute stuff like chokers and vests and skirts, pleated skirts. Such a cute look. Such a cute look. This is like top tier. Yeah, Glance.
You have my Discord winking face.
You have mine. You have mine. You can message me anytime. Anytime, Ash. DMs are open. Wait. Glance, what? So, which side do you feel like... Which side is your fang on first? Do you have a right-only fang? Only fangs. or is it a left-only fang? And... Do you have one of those fangs that shows up even when your mouth is closed? They've got like the skin lip fang. You guys know what I'm talking about? On the left. Okay. Cause I I did a lot of my mouth modeling after Shylily, and she's got this cute mode where when she's smiling and her mouth is just slightly open, all you see is the fangs on both sides. It's like she has the cat face and you just see the little fangs. Shows up even when the mouth is closed. Oh, I see. I was considering like the mouth closed fangs, but I didn't know how to rig it that well, so I just went with like normal teeth fangs, the ones that I would bite your neck and suck your blood with if I were a vampire. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with my design. I think I could have done better. There's always stuff that I look at and I feel like I could improve. Like the fact that I didn't rig the angles right, so now these freaking glasses don't move right. They're like, they look at like way sharper of an angle than I do. But what can you do, girl? What can you do? Boop. Okay. But well, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about, I'm glad you love my design. Sapo boy, I mean, it's the truth. Y'all have my y'all are in my Discord, right? Y'all are in my lovely Discord. I'm pretty sure you guys all are. But in case you weren't, or in case there was some lurker in chat who wanted to join my Discord, but yeah, I know, Sapo, and I'm glad. Yeah, I think the glasses situation is only getting worse. But what was I talking about? The wedding. Yeah, so at the wedding, right? My cousins were like, Belle, you're the only unmarried one. And then they were also like, we were sort of like casually talking about our lives, and I was like, oh yeah, I never cook. And I had this one cousin who's like, what? Wait, I need the glasses off so I can accurately display his emotions, right? He was like, huh? Belle, you don't cook? You're crazy. You eat out every meal? You're crazy, Belle. What's wrong with you? When you start dating, you're gonna realize how weird that is. You're not gonna find someone who wants to be with someone who can't cook. And first of all, that's so rude. How dare you? How dare you? And second of all, I quite enjoy my life. And I think there's nothing wrong with living a life where I don't cook, as long as I'm not like struggling to eat, right? Or like struggling financially. Glans, are your DMs always open? I'm going to DM you, Glans. I'm going to DM you right soon. I actually do want to talk with you about some stuff. How much do I spend on... Okay, guys, I will tell you about this, but you guys have to promise not to judge me, okay? Rest in peace, Sapo boy. Don't kill yourself by not sleeping. You know, lack of sleep chronically will lead to early onset Alzheimer's. No one likes that. So just take good care of yourself. But I will tell you how much I spend on food. You guys have to promise you're not gonna judge me. And you're not gonna be like, Belle, what's wrong with you? And I don't know weekly, but I more keep track of it monthly. Monthly, I spend... It depends on the month, of course, right? I think I average... $900 to $1,000 a month on food. Drink water, sleep lots, eat food. Oh yeah, $2,500 a month on food, Ash. That would be like, okay. If it cost that much, I probably would cut. But I remember back when I first started living like alone as an adult, I tried to like do the whole cooking and groceries every once in a while thing, and I realized getting groceries for a single person, like a lot of my stuff would go bad. You think you spend around 900 too, honestly? Yeah, are you and you cook, Ash? Cause I'll say like some months do get like, you know, a little more expensive, because some months I do like, I might like go to slightly nicer places, or like I'll go out for food with like friends or family and go somewhere nice. So like I'd say on the expensive end it could be as much as like 1,200, right? That would be like a very expensive month for me food wise. You can cook, Ash. Well, that's a plus in my book. That's a plus in my book, because I certainly don't mind a partner who could cook. But I'm just saying, if I were, you know, with someone, and it was like, I would not want to be with someone who I felt like judged me for not being able to cook. Okay, Glands. I'll say, Glands, that my area's cost of living is very high, and I'm not trying to dox my like financial situation, but my rent is like more than double that, like significantly more than double that. So it's like, it's very, the food is not really that meaningful compared to my rent. You'll make me my favorite dish? What if you already make my favorite dish, Ash? If you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying. It's cause my favorite dish is your mom. No. Okay, Mystery, like I said, I live in a high cost of living area. Okay? So, of course, my employer pays us, you know, an amount that is fitting for a high cost of living area. I'll also say, I'm an engineer. Engineers make good money. Not like fuck you money, right? But engineers make good money. And within engineering, right? I think I've told you guys I'm a systems engineer. On like the spectrum of like cheap engineering disciplines to expensive engineering disciplines. Systems engineers are on the expensive end. And I'll tell you, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good at my job. And you guys might not believe it, because all you guys ever see is the head empty, dumbbell. But I'm pretty good at my job, and I think my company knows I'm pretty good at my job. So they try to pay me appropriately. Yeah, okay, Glands, you know, the truth of it is, I think engineers in my country are probably overpaid. I won't lie. I will say there's like a really weird disparity between incomes for different jobs in my country, right? In the US, in the States, if you're like a doctor or a lawyer, right? You like actually make 10 times more than like an average person. Like literally 10 times, right? Like, do you do work that, like, there's no way that a lawyer does the work of 10 people. So it's not right? It's incorrect for it to be like as big of a disparity as it is. But it is what it is. I mean, I will say I'm grateful to be in a profession that does better than average. Of course, I don't make as much as a doctor or a lawyer. Right? You like to save your money for toys, Mystery? I mean, that makes sense. But if it's for toys, it's not saving your money. Really, you and I are the same. We just choose what brings us happiness. And what brings me happiness is not having to cook. Artists make nothing? Yeah, Ash. I actually feel really bad for people, like...
I like to save my money for toys.
What kind of toys, Ash? I feel like... Wait, who's also 300k in debt? You're talking about doctors and lawyers, right? That's correct. I don't think that is... I think that, first of all, like, the cost of education in the States is too high. Right? So that's one. But even considering that they start off in debt, I think the fact that, like, a lot of doctors, I think they probably make, like, 3, 4... I mean, I know there are some doctors who make, like, 700 grand a year. And those aren't even, like... That's not even, like, the highest echelon, right? I'm sure there's high echelon doctors who make, like, 5 mil a year, right? The, like, crazy, like, plastic surgeon, like, world-renowned doctors, right? But I think you could, if you go to your local hospital, I bet you someone there makes 700 grand a year. That is literally, like, I need to check the median income in the United States. Median income, US. Okay. For clarification, according to Google, median income in the US is $38,000. And I was literally, I'm telling you, I'm telling you with significant confidence that there's a doctor at your local hospital who probably makes 600 grand a year. Literally 20 times the median, right? You should have tried to get... Okay, I mean, part of it is that we, like, really value doctors, right? And to be a doctor takes an incredible amount of work. It is very competitive. It is very difficult. But the United States has just... The problem is the United States has such a disparity in incomes. Spicy kind, Ash? Interesting. You must be talking about, like... really hot stuff, like kilns for your art. Yeah, I mean, I like the healthcare industry is really fucked, right? That definitely adds to things. But I think we've become such a weird level of monetization for everything. Like, why does university, like, normal undergrad level university, why is it that here public school undergrad universities, like, probably average tuition at a public school university is like at least $8,000 a year? Like, that's insane. That means at that rate, you're graduating after your 4 years having paid $30,000. That's wild. Mystery, can you live on 38k a semester? I I personally could not because like I said, my area is high cost of living. But I know there are people who can live on that. Because I used to work with a coworker who, his previous job was in Arkansas, and he said rent there was like a nice place. You could rent a nice apartment, live very well, and the rent would be $300. $300 for like that is like a laughably small amount compared to where I live. So I mean, if you want to live in Arkansas, right? He was talking about how people in Arkansas like could live comfortable lives purely off welfare, not have any job at all. You just go there and you live off of welfare. But you're living in Arkansas. That I shouldn't say that. That's like some terrible elitism right there. Okay. I don't know if it's Sapo Boy or Sapo Boy. Don't feel bad if you're too shy to message. Right? If you want to lurk, that's fine. It is okay. I don't want you to feel like you have to message if you don't want to. But also, if you want to message, I totally encourage it. You know? Everyone would love to hear what you have to say. Right? We enjoy every bit of communication we can get here because we're a pretty small gang, right? A couple of regulars, right? Especially tonight. I think tonight is a little bit of a slower night. But that's fine. I'm more than happy to just sort of... It's basically chatting one-on-one with me. Think of how lucky you're so lucky. You get to chat one-on-one with your Oshi, basically. Right? We could all be like sitting at a coffee shop just hanging out together, right? Welcome back, Skill Issue. Welcome back from your food. We were just talking about how horrible the economy is in the United States because it's like... just the differences in economics for different professions and different areas is like, it's crazy. I mean, I'll say there are worse places too, but you know, what I say, like, it came up because I was talking about what it costs for me to live, and I know my cost of living sounds egregious. It sounds incredibly egregious to people who live other places because where I live is just, it's like a different economy than cheaper places. The uni you went to is $220 a year. Yeah, see, Glans? That's the ridiculous thing about the States, is the States university is... I estimated on average a public school, or public being like generally the cheaper option, right? Would be like averages, very average, would be like $8,000 a year. Our expensive colleges, I want to make this clear, our expensive colleges could be $60,000 a year. Okay? I mean, I went to a public school. My big sister, Big Sisabel, she did not go to a public school. She went to a private school on the other side of the country. And I'll say my tuition for my 4 years, all 4 years put together, my tuition was probably $60,000. I think she probably paid $60,000 for 1 year of tuition. It's fucked. It's fucked. But, I mean, I guess she's a doctor now. She's not a $700K doctor yet, but she's got doctor income, so. Sapo Boy, I'll tell you, we're no one here is going to think negatively of you. I mean, look at who you're watching. No one's gonna think you're any more of a degenerate than I am. Have you seen the way me and Ash talk to each other? We're probably the biggest degenerates in the room. You woke up 30 minutes ago, Glance. So, I'm glad that I get to... You chose me so early in the morning. My like first 30 minutes of the day is death. My first 30 minutes of the day is death. So I'm glad you felt I was worth tuning into. Skill issue. Having done some looking around for uni degrees, a 4-year degree will set you back 34 to 48k. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, I guess it's also expensive in New Zealand, right? But I would say that's still cheaper than the US. I'd say that's like probably that's like average, right? Or like medium? Or is that like the expensive places there? I think that's maybe like half to 3/4 what like average in the States would cost you. And I think that causes a really big problem, because nowadays I'll go ahead and be an education elitist and say I think everyone should go to college, because college is a great opportunity not just to learn, but also to like not just to learn education, but to learn who you are and figure out who you want to be like as an adult, because that's like your transition to adult like time in your life. But I can't say happily that everyone should go to college, because there's a lot of people who think college is just a waste of money, right? And I can't even disagree with them, because for most people it sort of is. You're putting yourself in crippling debt, putting yourself in actually literal life crippling debt for a sheet of paper, and sometimes where you work won't even make use of those skills. Have a good night, Sapo boy. I hope that you get enough sleep and you don't end up with early onset Alzheimer's. And I hope you sleep well and you enjoy stream. But I'll see you next time. Get rest. Take care of yourself. Your friendly neighborhood engineer, Belle? Yes, exactly. That's how I want you to think of me, Glance. I want everyone to think I'm friendly. I'm friendly. I'm such a friendly, great streamer, and I definitely never threaten any of my viewers. None of you are ever in danger or held against your will. You're here just because you want to be here. Got it? Got it? Okay. Okay. Okay, so Glance, I mean, is that like true for everyone? Or is that just like... That's just like sort of like true, depending on, you know, your socioeconomic class, right? Mystery, I know you could leave whenever you want. The red X is right there. It's right there in that top right corner. But I know you're gonna stay because you love watching me. Interesting. Because, Glance, I know there are people where like in the US, who like grow up on farms, or they grow up in like socially not great neighborhoods, and they think that education is like it's a little bit like elitist, and it's not necessary to live a good life, which it's true that it's not, but I know there are some people who actively think like education is bad. And that's horrible. That is a horrifying thought to me. I mean, Ash There's somewhere else you could be stuck. You could be stuck somewhere else. My basement, perhaps. I've got a nice little spot set up just for you. How's your food? Are you enjoying what you're eating? I, for dinner tonight, had Panda Express for the first time in, like, years. Because for some reason, I was just craving Panda Express. So I had to, like, Google if there's a Panda Express close to me. The prices are pretty bad, Mystery. Are you talking about education or prices everywhere? What are you guys' what is cost of living like for you guys? What's rent for you guys? Because I mean, maybe you don't have to tell me actually. I'm not trying to pry, right? Yeah, education prices are bad. If only we could have, you know, government pay for it. Like healthcare. If only people could get on board with, you know, not even full socialism, just, you know, a couple of socialist programs that might benefit everyone. That, you know, who could imagine something like that? Not Americans, apparently, because people in the States hate giving good things to poor people, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I hate the socioeconomics of our society. Oh, you get free college from the government? Are you GI Bill? Everything in New Zealand is fucking expensive? Tell me about it, Skillish. Tell me all about it. Also, I mean, is it everywhere in New Zealand, or is it just like where you are? Congrats on your GI Bill, Mystery. Thank you for your service, or your family service, or whatever. You know? I mean, generally, depending on the location of your city, it can be anywhere from... Lands... $200 a month for rent is like actually... I would murder someone for that. In-game, not... But like... That is preposterously cheap in the eyes of an American. But I'm sure there are trade-offs, like... It wouldn't surprise me if just your average income there is also, like, much lower. I know I was looking at, like, living in Japan, because one of my friends mentioned it. And in Japan, apparently you can buy a house in Japan for, like, 15 grand. 15,000 US dollars. Which is, like, monumentally small. That is, like... I could afford to buy multiple houses in Japan, apparently. But the trade-off is that in Japan, average salary is like... Hold on, I need to look it up. Average salary... I remember I saw the figure earlier. Yeah, average salary in Japan is... Wait a second, now that I think about it, the US is just a terrible country to live in, I guess. Because according to Google just now, it is like $37,000 average salary in Japan. But when I think about it, we looked up the median salary in the US, and the median salary in the US is the same. Yeah, I mean, I get it, Glance. I get it. It's just a different economy, right? Like, But okay, so Glance, I do like my understanding of, was it India? Maybe I'm doxing you here. I hope not. But some countries around, that area have they have very, very rich areas and very, very poor areas and not really that many areas in between. And does that mean that what do people earn in the very, very rich areas is my question. For a small studio apartment, in the inner city in New Zealand, it's $1,000 a month. Okay, skill issue. I mean, that's about right, depending on where you live in the States, right? I'll say there was a time I lived in a state on the opposite coast, and my rent for a 1-bedroom was about the same amount. That's not the case where I live right now, though, of course. Where I live right now is very expensive. Okay, as the words left my mouth glands, I was worried that I had given away something that I shouldn't have. I'll have to be careful not to dox people in the future if I'm collabing. But my understanding is that in India, it is literally just two separate worlds of very modern and rich, or intense poverty. So I just wonder how much the people in the crazy rich areas of India make. They're probably businessmen? Interesting. Yeah, I guess that's also true. There's if you're a Wall Street person in the States, I think you can make it's very easy for Wall Street traders to make $1 million a year. Which I said earlier that it's wrong for doctors and lawyers to make as much money as they do, because there's no way a doctor works 20 times as hard as your average person, right? It wouldn't surprise me if they work 5 times harder, right? But 20 times, no way, right? But Wall Street brokers, guys, Wall Street brokers don't do anything. Why do they make everyone else in society provides something to society. Wall Street brokers don't provide anything to society. I want you guys to think about that. They don't create anything. They don't fix anything. They don't help people. All they do is they move money from one spot to another. Scum of the earth. Scum of the earth. Yeah, okay, Ash, you're right in that they're gamblers, but it's not even... I think professional gamblers are better than Wall Street people, because the Wall Street gamblers, the truth of the Wall Street gamblers is they're not at risk. The Wall Street gamblers basically take money from other people and they gamble other people's money, and if they win, they take some off the top, right? But if they lose, they're not the ones who go, they're not going homeless, right? The professional gamblers in Vegas, if they lose, they actually lose their own money, right? It's so messed up. It's so messed up. So yeah, I feel like I should try to avoid being, political. But sometimes we just get to these topics that really set me off. They steal money, black money. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, some things are really twisted. If publicly traded companies didn't exist, the world would be better since companies wouldn't prioritize. Yes, I agree. I mean, this boils down to like U.S. society problems, where like the U.S. is so. I think the American dream, quote unquote, the American dream, quote unquote, is really toxic and it's promoted a really bad thought process. And that has like just corrupted our society. Right? It is just basically made us evil. And it's really bad that my background music stopped playing as I started talking about this. But I'm sad. I'm sorry. I didn't want to get political, guys. I wanted to sit here and yap about how my cousins were giving me shit for stupid things. But now we're talking about politics and we're doomed. We're doomed. Seize the means of... I mean, you say that, and I won't lie, that was something I definitely used to say, you know, everyone said sort of jokingly, right? But it was definitely like a motto of mine, you know? Because that's the truth, is we need some sort of revolution. Okay? It's Jover. Skill issue, luckily, Joe is Jover. Now we got Kamala, so we actually have a chance
Seize the means of reproduction, winking face.
I'll seize your means of reproduction. That sounds really painful. I think that's called testicular torsion. or what Ayuki said to me one night was, I think she was going to say, I'll invert your balls, and then she realized, and she's like, I will invert your ovaries. Man, if you get to talk about your country's education system and economy, you can talk for hours, but it'll get way too depressing. Glands, you can talk to me about whatever. You know? Especially, I mean, if you want to like vent, or yeah, I mean, even in DMs, you know, you want to DM me whenever you're feeling down. I'm here for you, Glands. I'm here for you, friend. Us VTubers gotta stick together. Ovarian tor- Oh, no. 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 That sounds so painful, Ash. That sounds so painful. You're seeing diagrams from last year's health class that you did not need. I'm glad you're taking health classes, skill issue. It's important to know. And what it reminds me of is... Ash. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. That sounds so... That sounds so painful. Luckily for me, it's not. It's not crazy bad. But youch. Youchies. I mean, have you considered some of those forms of birth control that reduce the frequency? Maybe maybe instead of once every month, it can turn into once every 3 months. I don't know if that actually helps with, I would assume it helps with that. The endo, but I don't know. You kind of have to take health classes, but they did have to make the diagrams that, yes, skill issue. Okay, let's get serious for a moment. I think this is an important thing to talk about, especially for the youth. I think accurate anatomical education is important from a young age. And I want to emphasize this because I know a lot of more conservative societies are like, No. Kids are too young to learn about this stuff. They shouldn't be exposed to it until they get to blah 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 age. You need to teach kids the truth from the get. I mean, you don't need to give them every crazy detail really early on, but kids need to know how anatomy works very precisely, and it's been very seriously shown that proper education from an early age heavily reduces the risk of sexual abuse, right? Because when kids don't know the truth about these things, they don't know what's right or wrong, and then they can't tell anyone. But if you teach them early and you're like, hey, you know, this part of the body is called this part of the body is called this, people are not allowed to touch you there, then they know, right? So you have to teach them. And I know it's awkward, but you should learn. Glands, if you hate your country, that's okay. Because as you can tell, I'm not the most happy with mine. Right? My country is not a shining beacon of hope and freedom that everyone likes to gloat it as. But I'm here for you, buddy. You milked cows when you were a kid and figured it out? I don't know what that would help you figure out, Mystery, but I'm worried now that you figured out the wrong things. And the age they want to wait for changes until it's no one? Wait, what do you mean, wait for changes until it's no one? Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that things seem more progressive up north where you are. But down here, I know there are people who are... There, like, actual people here are just straight up anti-education. Do you know how sad that makes me? And I can't, like, if I say anything back to them, they just... They play it off as I'm being educational elitist. Fuck schools, man. You remember you were in high school. Wait, when you're in high school around 14 years or something, the teacher will most likely not even speak what kind of body part that is. But most kids already... Yeah, I mean... It's interesting that they still use the same site in their glands, but I know it's like a problem. I think especially in Asian countries, I don't know, I don't think I should say especially, but in Asian countries, I think it is like a little bit of a problem because things are overly taboo, right? And if you make things too taboo and then people don't get educated about them, it causes problems. I remember... Okay, chat, this is going to be mildly, you know, not incredibly appropriate, but I remember a couple years ago reading about a story about how sex education in China was so bad, a couple went to the doctor because they were trying to have a kid, right? They were trying to have a kid, and they couldn't, no matter how hard they tried, and the doctor was like, huh, everything seems fine health-wise. Neither of you is sterile. What's going on? And it's because he was putting it in the wrong hole, because they didn't know. They didn't know. They were doing butt stuff the whole time. Because they don't teach over there. They don't teach the... You guys see what I'm... This is why education is important. I mean, I don't know if China has dying population issues. Maybe they do. I don't know. I haven't paid too much attention to China, right? This is people are like, no, we should stick to the old ways and this should all be taboo, but there's nothing wrong with it, right, guys? It's just the human body. We should all know how human bodies work. Right? Don't make a big deal out of it, because it shouldn't be a big deal. Chat. It shouldn't be a big deal. It's way better than what you thought, than what you were thinking, Mystery. I mean, I don't know what you were thinking, but it was hilarious to me. Hilarious and so stupid at the same time. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think China had a dying population issue. Good night, Ash. Have a good one. Don't forget to DM me. But it's actually so silly how people can be like so against education, right? I mean, I can't see any reason at all to be against education, right? Knowledge should just... We should want more people to have more knowledge. Like, without exception, right? There's nothing... I can't see anything bad about it. Right? I mean, Glans, I don't know what to say other than, you know, some countries just are like that. I think, now I'm wondering though, I remember hearing about a country, I think it was India, but I'm not 100% sure. It might have been another one, maybe it was Philippines? I can't remember, but I remember there was one country, which it was amazing for me to hear about this. Because in the US, if the government tells you to do something, a lot of people will just intentionally not do it to spite the government. That's the kind of people that are in the US. Just shitty nonconformist, want to break everything anarchist people, right? I remember hearing about one country that had like, it seemed like their population was going kind of too hard, right? And what the government said was, the government didn't even put out like a rule. They didn't put out a rule. They didn't put out any like crazy punishments or incentives or anything. All they did was they issued an announcement. They were like, hey guys, we are having like a little bit of a population growth that is maybe not that good. So we would really appreciate it if you guys would just try to only have one kid. If you want to have more kids, if you like really want more kids, you can, right? It's totally allowed. If you want more, then fine, you can do it. But those of you who are on the fence, maybe, you know, it would be really nice if you only had one, right? That's all they did. They just said, you know, please, we would like this. This would be a good goal for society. And fucking it happened. People got on, everyone was just like, okay, it works. You know, they were just like, oh, I mean, I guess the goal is to have less kids, so let's have less kids. And, like, that is mind-blowing to me, because in the States, like, that would never work. You'd have, like, half of people would be like, oh, this is a violation of our rights. This is a conspiracy. This is them trying to control us. They have no, like, this is none of their business. But over there, whatever country it is, I forgot, right? But everyone just got on board. They all just were like, oh, okay, I mean, it would be better to have less kids, then we'll have less kids, right? And fucking holy cow. Why can't people here be like that? Why can't everyone just sort of, work together on the same page? Right? But I don't know. I love to shit on the US because teehee, we're full of shitheads. But there's a lot of things that we also do pretty alright. So I can't complain too much. I think this is the place I like living. I think if given the choice to stay here or to move anywhere else, I think I would probably still stay here, right? But everywhere's got their problems, So I think it's important to remember that. And to sort of, it's good to be grateful, right? I appreciate the things I have. I think that is like a good thing to do. But I also think people who tell you that you're ungrateful when you bring up a problem, those people don't know what they're talking about. Because it's perfectly okay to love something but still want it to be better, right? I still want the US to be better. But guns and healthcare Guns and healthcare. People here would rather have guns than healthcare, even if they were bleeding out in the street, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Population-based self-destruct, Mr. You see, that's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that we basically have to get to the point of self-destructing before anyone even cares. And at this point, it seems like a lot of things we are at the point of self-destructing. People still don't care. Why? Why do we still have climate change deniers? Bangladesh, a country a little bigger than Japan, has more population than all of Russia? That's kind of crazy. But also, I mean, population density is in some places pretty crazy. Like, I think Japan is like super population dense. Hold on. Size of Japan is okay. Okay, so I think in the US, if I remember correctly, the state with the highest population is California. California has 39 million people. Japan is ever so slightly smaller than California, and it has 125 million people. It is literally 3 times as many people as California. So, I mean, some places just go really hard with their population. Also, now that I look at it, Japan's population is also pretty close to Russia's. Yeah, population decline in Japan is like a real thing. I know they're like at a critical point where they're already like, they're running out of workforce because people aren't having kids, so there's not enough new generation people to handle the things that Japan needs handled. It's all old people. But they're still very, holistically populous. It's just so much of the population is older generations, and very few are younger, is my understanding. Mr. E, Are you saying all the developed countries are having population decline? Is that true? Is there a big population decline in the US? No, population in the US appears to still be going up. For now. That being said, I think its growth is slowing. It's not growing as fast, but I think it's still going up. I don't know. We're a few decades behind Japan. I mean, a few decades is a lot. And I mean, if the population is still going up, then I won't say I think we're particularly in danger. Because what I'm reading right now is that population is expected to be to reach 370 million. And I know right now we're around 330 million. Okay. Most, if not all, developed countries are seeing population decline or decreasing growth. Yeah. I think decreasing growth is correct. Like, it is accurate. But I don't know if decreasing growth is a problem. Like, at a certain point, decreasing growth has to happen, right? We can't just continuously spawn more and more humans, right? We'll actually just run out of space. So it has to stop at some point, right? It has to taper off. And that's not necessarily wrong. Well, if USA is decades behind, then Japan... Wait. If US is just behind Japan, maybe you're a guy from Stone Age? I mean... I don't know. Okay, Mystery, we could, right? That is a very viable thing. But... Even if we get the ability to expand it into space, should our game plan just always be to increase? Like, at some point, I feel like that's ridiculous, right? I mean, maybe it's not, right? Maybe we should just be like, oh, we'll just keep growing and growing and growing until we've conquered all of space everywhere. But I think it's important to, you know, see things in a grander scope and be like, maybe it wouldn't be bad to stop growing at some point. Oh, that was the boomers game plan. I guess that makes sense. I guess that's why they started. That's why we had the baby boom. Actually, no, it's not the baby boomers are the result of the baby boom, right? Is that the general title? Baby boom, like the boomers are the people who resulted from the baby boom after World War I, right? Is that how that works? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But, like, one way or the other, I don't feel like the US is running into a population problem of, like, certainly not a population problem of, like, we aren't having enough kids. Yet, I don't think so. I think we might have a little bit of a population problem of we, for some reason, cannot find the resources to educate and healthcare provide all of our people. I mean, that's not even, like, really a resource thing as much as we have some problem with socialism and the things that we need to do to adequately, you know, distribute these things. But I'm so frustrated. In your country, if you throw a stone in a group of millions of young adults, 98% chance of it is going to hit an unemployed engineer. Is that a fact, or are you making fun of us? Why are you being so mean to engineers, Glance? Why are you being so mean? There's nothing wrong with being an engineer. I mean, they probably should move to the US. Like, that would probably be good. Except, I think people here would probably not be that trustworthy of them. For one, racism reasons, because people here seem to have, like, really closed minds. And two, I think people here would be suspicious of certain educational credentials. I don't know, I don't necessarily think that's justified or unjustified, I don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me, right? Even here, the mechanical engineer pay is kinda ass. Skill issue? What do you mean are engineers in all other countries just paid like shit? Cause, you know, in the US, we're not like a super high paying profession, but engineering in the US is like you can live a comfy life. You don't have like extravagant money, but you shouldn't be in danger of being homeless. I mean, yeah, that makes sense, Glance. If you're already financially unstable, moving is probably very difficult. You can have a... Are you talking to me, Mystery? I can have a boat? I mean, I know plenty of people in lower paying professions that I think have boats. I won't say it's financially responsible for them. Okay, skill issue. You said 50 to 60 grand USD. Is that, like, do you really consider that ass? I'll say that's not a great number, but I wouldn't say it's ass. I don't know what cost of living there is like, though, but I think, like, in a lot of places in the US, that would be a very adequate number. A comfy number, even. Engineers make boat money. I love how that's like how we're categorizing like the level of money, right? That's boat money. You have enough money that you can afford something luxurious like a boat. That's not even like that. I don't think about boats at all when I think about money. I guess it makes sense though, right? That is like it very adequately displays like what level of money you need to have a boat here. Only engineers that move to other countries are the ones who graduated from IIT. Okay. Interesting. So wait, so Glance, do you think it's because people don't want engineers in your country, or it's because too many people train to be an engineer? I think it's probably too many people trained to be an engineer, but I don't want to assume, right? I don't know India as well as you do, of course. Right? Because you probably don't need that many. I think in a whole country, your population, like, you probably don't need more than like 10% to be engineers. Right? Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. It's hard to... 10% might even be too high. What percent engineers? Oh, one of the top searches in Google is what percent of engineers in India? Okay. It says, as of June 2023, there were 7.6 engineering graduates per 1,000 people in India. That is less than 1%. But I mean, you probably still, like, because India has so many people, you probably don't need that many engineers anyway, right? I don't know. It also depends on, like, what your economy's like, right? Because, like, you need a baseline level of engineers to do stuff like building infrastructure, you know? Making sure your cities work properly, making sure you have, you know, electricity going in the right places, you know, water, food delivery, you know, transportation, right? You need stuff like that, right? But you also, after that, only start really needing engineering if you're going to, like, start making or creating a bunch of new products, right? So in the US, tech is very big, right? So the US probably needs a higher proportion of engineers than India, because so much of our economy is based around tech. If you are graduated from math in school, you'll be forced to become an engineer. No choice. Weird. And you're right, Mystery. That's why I say, like, you definitely don't need that many engineers, right? But I'm surprised that it's that big of a problem if, according to Google, it's less than 1%, right? In India, it says 7.6 per 1,000. That is 0.7% of their people are engineering graduates. So I mean, that doesn't sound like that many. But like I said, if India has, like, a ton of people, right? And you only need, like, the ones that do infrastructure, then I could see why you wouldn't need that many engineers. But if India were to start, like, doing a lot of research and development and working on a lot of new stuff, then I think demand for engineers would rise, right? Wait. Hola, Skillet Shoot. Did you say average salary in New Zealand is 100 grand per year? Oh wait, no, that's New Zealand money. Sorry, you threw me for a loop. But that means you said that's like 60 grand US. That's average there? 60 grand US average in New Zealand, and average in the United States is 37? Fuck me. I hate our country so much. I mean, Mystery, maybe you should. I don't know. If their average is literally 50% more than our average. Because their median, I mean... Okay, Skillishu, when you're talking about median, you're talking about median in New Zealand dollars, right? In New Zealand dollars is 80K? Yeah, I mean, I get that, Skillish. Interesting. But it sounds like it's pretty comparable, if not better, to here. Because I think your costs for you, I think, are still lower than costs for us. It's just, I don't know. The US is basically plagued by super millionaires who, for some reason, feel like they need more money, and that fucks everything for everyone else. Hi, Sprockets vs. Cogs. How are you? We've been just yapping for the past, like, hour and a half, 2 hours. We started off I don't know how we ended up here. How we ended up on the economics of like different countries and different professions, specifically, you know, engineering. Because one of my YouTube viewers, Glands, is from India, and he's talking about how in India, engineers are like super unemployed. Even though in the States, engineers are pretty desired. That's what I'll say. I'll say engineers are pretty desired, and because of that, financially, I'm in a better spot than most. I'm very fortunate. Very fortunate. Sprocket, I really like your name though, Sprockets vs. Cogs. It's a cool one. Wait, Glance, you failed out of engineering and then they just forced you to sign up for a different engineering college? That is... I'm sorry, Glance, that sounds painful. What do you do, so you got the engineering degree. Do you work in engineering right now? Or are you unemployed, or do you work in something else? Because, I mean, I don't know. And what would you have wanted to do, I guess is my question. Because engineering sort of was always what I wanted to do. So, I'm curious what you wanted to do with your life instead of going into engineering. Oh, you're still in the engineering college? Interesting, Sprockets vs. Cogs. I mean, one of my YouTube viewers, who I think is in the YouTube chat right now, his name is Mr. E. He also was a machinist. I think now he's in school. But it's really cool to see you guys popping up, because I actually really value input from machinists, because as someone who's worked on the receiving end of a lot of design stuff, I've come to really appreciate that, you know, whenever anything gets designed, someone has to use it in the end, and that also someone has to make it first, right? So I don't ever want to design something and it be impossible to make. So I always want to talk to the people who are going to make things before I settle on the design, right? Because I remember, you know, at my old job, some people came up with a design and we showed it to the shop. We were like, hey, we need you to build things so they're strong. And they're like, that doesn't seem reasonable. And that was an awkward conversation to have after having, like, already gone through a bunch of approval processes in the engineering system. But I also have incredible respect for machinists, because it's difficult. I remember taking shop in college, and those machines scary. And I mean, I'm pretty sure the guy who ran machine shop was a little wary every time I came in, because I was definitely the type who was liable to potentially mess something up just from forgetting, you know, one of the little things. Like, I remember on our mill, you know that how there's the bolt at like the top of the big mills where like you tighten the bolt and that helps like tighten the chuck for... Wait, is chuck the right word? I can't remember. I think it's chuck. The thing that like holds the bit on your mill, right? And there's like a bolt at the top. But if you leave your wrench on the bolt at the top, then when you turn on the mill, it spins the wrench really fast and it like smacks itself. Do you know what I'm talking about? I was told, like, I never did it, but I remember like our mills in the shop had dents from people who had done it. And I'm totally the kind of person who would have done it, right? Who would have left the wrench on. Maybe a diagram is necessary. I don't know. Maybe am I describing it in a way that you can understand? Maybe you and Mystery are both shaking your head at me right now. I nailed it? So you understood what I was talking about, though, right? Like, hold on. I have... And yeah, call it, I think, is maybe the right word. Mystery. Okay, bum, bum, bum. I feel like it's a weird time that my background music decided to play the sax, right? But, like, you've got, like... wait. Okay. Yeah, so, for those who don't know, because Skill Issue might not know, Glands might not know, whoever else, and the non-machinists of the world might not know, right? So when you have... I'll quickly transition back to the scene I was in. You see it, like, behind me, there's that big white thing in the way background? That maybe is not clear what that was. That was supposed to be a mill, but I maybe didn't draw it too well. But anyway, when you have a mill, which is like the machine that we use to like basically cut shapes into metal for 3D parts, it's like, this is the big motor thing, and it has like, it spins what's basically a drill bit, but it's a drill bit made to cut. And then down below that, there's like a little table that holds your part. I'm not drawing it straight. And the table moves so that you can sort of like move the part under like the spinny cutty bit. But it's all like connected, and there's this whole big like setup for this whole big ass machine. And so you're like here, and you like spin knobs, and it moves this table with your part left or right, or like it can move it up and down, or you know, it moves it in all the directions. So basically you can move the part to have the spinny cutty bit cut different parts of your part, right? That's how we machine a lot of our custom parts. What I'm talking about is when you have different, like, they're called end mills. They're like the little bit that goes in here, that's the cutty bit. How you put them in is there's a little tiny bolt here that you like stand on a little step stool with a wrench, and you turn it, and that loosens it, and then the bit comes out. And then you put another one in, and then you turn it back, and you tighten this bolt, and it tightens the bit again, right? So that the bit stays in the machine. But if you accidentally like leave your wrench here, like part of the machine sticks up like this, and what will happen when you turn the machine on is it'll start spinning up here too with the bolt, and what'll happen is it'll fling your wrench into the machine and dent the machine. Which is I shouldn't laugh because I'm pretty sure it's like a terrifying experience. I'm pretty sure it is like horrifying experience. And I don't know if you guys have experienced this, machinists of my chat, if you've seen this happen. But I can imagine, like, I imagine this wrench probably ends up flying somewhere too. And that's, no one wants that in a machine shop. But I'm glad I have people that I can talk about this with, even though, I mean, it's probably more like you can talk about it with me because I'm only, you know, a little experienced in it. But I feel like if I was talking about this with, like, any random people, you know, outside my friend group, even some of the people I work with at work, you know, the electrical engineers, if I was talking about this, they'd have no idea what I was talking about. Interesting, Mystery. No, wait, I need the clarification. The drawbar is like this bit, right? So you didn't have to use a wrench? Is that what you're saying? Just did it on it like you could push a button and it would do it? Yeah, Glands, I mean, it sounds terrifying to me. If that wrench flings across the room, like, that could definitely, like, probably kill someone. I mean, skill issue. You're talking about the wrenches, and it wouldn't surprise me if you break the wrenches, but I want to remind you that this machine, these machines are like tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Having a part pull out of the vise is also scary. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I ever was too worried about that. I do remember very specifically one time I was working on a part for my machine class, and it was like, this will just tell you how bad of a machinist I was. I was like cutting like this little piece of aluminum stock, and it was like chittering, and the guy's like, you need to tighten it up. You need to tighten it up. That's really bad. The shop manager is like, that's really bad, Belle. It's really bad. You need to not do that. Oh, okay. So they basically have a built-in tightening thing, mystery. Basically a built-in impact wrench. But I don't know. There's a lot to it, right? And there's like, even besides all this stuff, right? Like whenever you're making a part, you have to keep track of a lot of other stuff. Skill issue. You have to keep track of like how big your bit is, and from that from how big your bit is and the material sets like what speed your mill should be spinning. Because I think it's when you do harder materials, you generally need it to spin faster. And you need a harder bit too, if I'm remembering right. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. There's a reason I'm not a professional machinist now. But there's like a whole science to it of like, with this material and this size bit, you need it to spin at this speed. Later, Glands. Have a good one. I hope your parents aren't that disappointed with you. Cause I'm not. I'm pretty happy with you, Glands. No matter how your parents feel. But I don't know. It's been a long time since I've done stuff in a machine shop. Science or guessing? Okay, mystery. You might guess. And if you do some like sort of, estimate mumbo jumbo, and it works for you, that's fine. But I know in my shop, they like had a whole there's a whole chart of like RPM, bit size, right? And then there's like one half of the chart was for like some materials, and the other half of the chart was for other materials, and it was all like laid out. You do high-speed machining on CNC? Interesting. I mean, I am curious, what makes it high-speed machining? What makes it high speed? As opposed to just like normal machining on a CNC machine. Does that mean you do you make it high speed by making your cuts bigger? Where normally you cut like boom, 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 like you do a lot of fine cuts normally, and then when it's high speed you do like a big cut, and then a big cut, and then a big cut with a bigger bit? Is that what makes it high speed? I don't know. I'm curious. I mean, of course, whoa. Skill issue. I mean, pay is important, but I really think you should mainly focus on doing something you enjoy. Which, I mean, I don't know. If there's something else you enjoy that pays better, then, do that. But I really feel like if you do something that you don't enjoy, it's not gonna work out for you anyway, because you're gonna hate your job. And then you're gonna quit. And if you do mechanical or aerospace engineering, CLSU, you can come to the US. Because those are desirable trades in the US. More efficient machining. Interesting. Sprockets versus cogs. Very interesting. I mean, I'm at a point in my, level of experience where if I ever have to machine something, if it takes 2 times as long as a normal machinist, 3 times as long, that's fine, as long as I don't, fuck it up. It means they're a material removal rate fiend. I get it. That's a description. That is one of the descriptions of all time. I removed plenty of your mom's material. But do you guys use the fancy cutter? The crazy cutter where it's like your part is submerged in the oil, right? Your part is here, and how it works is it cuts. It cuts because there's a really high voltage wire or some shit in there, and it moves it close to the wire, and the wire has literal electrical arcing off it that cuts it. You guys know what I'm talking about? EDM, yeah, that's the right word. Am I explaining it correctly? I actually am not 100% sure if that's how it works. Because it might not be super accurate. I don't know if the wire is a continuous wire like this, or part of me wonders if it only just sticks down. And so it's just a really high voltage thing, so as soon as your part gets moved really close to it, it arcs through to a grounding part, which I guess that would make more sense scientifically. Rest in peace, ads. Rest in peace, Twitch viewers suffering from ads. Motorsport engineering skill issue. Oh, skill issue. I had a friend who worked in NASCAR. I know you watch F1. I don't know if you watch NASCAR. NASCAR is an American thing, but I had a friend who worked in NASCAR. He was a mechanical engineer. Because of how one of the unis has the degree structure. They have aerospace as a minor with mechanical engineering. Yeah, I mean, I think if you enjoy mechanical stuff, skill issue, I think it's really hard to go wrong with mechanical. It just prepares you for a lot. It's a very multifaceted, jack of all trades type degree. Especially if you like these things. If you like cars, right? If you like the physical aspect of things fitting together and, really hands-on, you can see things physically happening stuff, mechanical is a good degree. I mean, no bias. No bias. It's not like your girl was majoring in mechanical engineering when she was in undergrad. It's not like she knew what was up and chose the best of the undergrad majors. Your alternate plan was to do dentistry. Hola. You wanted to do dentistry? You do you, but no one likes dentists, right? You must understand that. Do you want to be the person that everyone dislikes? you done with ads yet? Sprockets vs. Cogs? I think you should be. My things that said ads were running is... Wait. I lied. I think OBS is lying to me. Okay, you are back. Okay. Weird. Twitch isn't very clear. 300 grand a year pay, Mystery? I mean... Who are you gonna work for 300 grand? I mean, if you find someone who's going to pay you right out of college 300 grand, you let me know, Mystery. You let me know. Maybe... I was going to... Because I think you said you were majoring in electrical. So maybe that would be like... NVIDIA. Or AMD. Right? Maybe they could... They might pay. But I don't think they would pay that right out of college. And if you're willing to, like... just work a little bit longer in your career, I think a lot of other industries can get you into that range. Have a good one, Skill Issue. Man, it does feel like it's been like a little bit of a slow night, viewer-wise. I'm happy to hang out with you guys, though. I had to get that quality, you know, like one-on-one time. I do have this thing where... Okay, so I think most Twitch streamers use music from basically the same provider. Because I think a lot of us use this one company, I think that's called Dova Syndrome, that does royalty-free music from Japan, right? So that's very fitting for VTubers. But one of the VTubers I watch plays this exact song every time she's ending stream. So whenever I hear it on my playlist, I'm like, oh, it's stream end time. Because, I don't know, it just sort of puts me in that mood, you know? I'm thinking about maybe switching to just playing, like, Spotify as my background music, but I have to figure out how that works with all the, like, you're supposed to split it up so it doesn't get recorded, because if it gets recorded, you get copyright striked, and blah, 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 right? That sucks. Don't want to get in trouble with, DMCA. Don't want to get demonetized after I've only been monetized for, like, actually, I guess I've probably been monetized 2 months now. Damn, time is holy cow, guys. I think I've been streaming 3 months now? Almost 4? That's a long time. And I feel like I haven't really gotten that much done. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try and do better. I would like to do better and make better content for you guys. But sometimes it's just hard to keep it going, you know? Not actually that it's... What do I want to get done? I would like to do more videos, but videos take one of two things. Actually, that's a lie. They always take editing, and editing is my, like, least favorite thing ever. Right? Editing is the bane of my existence. And then what they take is they either take... I have to have streamed, like, very well so that my stream converts into a good video, or I need to, like, put in work writing and recording just the video itself. And the like writing is also kind of daunting for me. But there's so much in terms of production quality that I wish I could do better, but I also don't feel like I have the time or the energy to handle it all. Like, we could have better better viewer interaction with some cooler plugins, I'm sure. Cooler interactions with Twitch chat, that would be great. I would also like to have, you know, maybe better loading screens, better background music setup, you know, production value stuff. And I feel like I should be doing more in terms of community stuff, in like growing, right? Because I feel like I've really plateaued in terms of growth. I would like to promote myself more. It's just very scary to me to do all that like social media and networking stuff. My production quality is very good. I do not think I agree. I think it's very scuffed, but it's gotten better from the beginning. So, I mean, I guess that's the right trend to have, right? You just want things to be getting better, and then gradually, as long as they continuously get better, you know, then that means eventually they'll be very good. But I would like things to get better faster than they are. And that just requires me to put more hours into it than I currently am. And I want to quit my job so I can spend more time doing other things. And I also wish I wish I didn't have to sleep so much. I think this year is the first year I've ever really felt the feeling of like, I just need more hours in the day, man. I just need more hours in the day. But I can't because I have to work, and I have to sleep, and I have to do normal things that will keep me alive, like, you know, move around and eat. If I don't, like, go for walks every day, that makes me feel like super shit. So there goes, like, I probably walk for an hour to 2 hours a day just because I feel the need to move. So already, like, all that stuff has already sucked away, like, you know, 3/4 of my life. And I feel like if there's anything I could get rid of, I would want to get rid of sleep. But if I get rid of sleep, I'll actually die, right? Or, like, sleep won't let me get rid of sleep because I'll just start falling asleep during other things. And that's such a bummer. Because it really, really extra frustrates me because I don't understand completely why we need to sleep. Like, I get that at a very biological level. There's things that need to happen that only happen during sleep, right? That essentially recharge your brain and allow your body to recover. But I don't know why they can't happen while we're awake. Why can my brain not recover while I'm awake? It seems silly to me. And it makes me sad, because that's just like 1/3 of every day gone. It's a disappointing reality. Especially because nowadays, with so much stuff that I want to do, a lot of nights I'll be like, I could do just this one night. Just this one night, I could pull an all-nighter and I could get stuff done. And then so part of me leans into it, and part of me is like, yeah, let's just do it. Let's just stay up kind of late tonight and get stuff done. And then it gets to like 3 a.m. and I'm like, no, I think I'm gonna climb into bed now. I don't like this plan anymore. I'm gonna climb into bed. And then, because I went to bed so late, I wake up late too. So now I'm super fucked, because I also like sleep in through work sometimes, which is not good. No one likes that. I mean, I'm not super unhappy about it, because, you know, if I don't get in trouble, and that's just time that I don't necessarily, you know, have to waste doing work. I can technically allocate that time to other things that I want to do with my life. But It's not good. You know? I should be better. I should be better. But as I get older, I'm going to lose the ability to work as vigorously as I do now, and that makes me so sad. But I also see it seems like other streamers can work very diligently, so I feel like I should just try to be better. But it's so hard, right? It's so hard to just be like, oh yeah, I mean, they can do it. I should be able to too, but like buckling down is very difficult. It's so when you do watch big streamers and you see what they do regularly, you know, have some good appreciation. Don't take it for granted, because they work very hard. You get that? Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if you feel similarly, right? You're in school right now. I don't know. When I was in school, I sort of lived a very relaxed, carefree lifestyle. But I know some people in school work very, very hard. I assume you do too, right? You must be a very good student if you spend your free time watching educational streamers like me. Educational, quote unquote. I'm educational. Maybe lying to myself a little. A little bit of coat. But good stuff in store for the stream, though. I think I always say that, and I feel like at this point it maybe is lying to my viewers, because I always say it's going to get better. But emotes are commissioned. The artist is working on them, so we have more cool stuff for viewers soon. You're working full-time and going to school full-time? You see, that's crazy to me. That's so much. So technically, one would think of that as 80 hours a week. Although I think very practically, school does not take 40 hours a week, depending on who you are, right? If you're one of those very, very studious, like, with your free time, you just choose to study, then maybe you spend 40 hours a week on school, but I sure as hell didn't. 10 hours of commuting? You commute 10 hours a week? So that's an hour drive there and an hour drive back? That's kind of rough. But I guess you said you enjoy driving, so that's probably not that bad for you. For me, I guess what I would have to do is I would have to turn that into relaxation time somehow, and use that to supplement time that I would normally spend, like, relaxing or walking around or doing something like that. You did that for 2 years, then quit your job. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem super sustainable, so it makes sense to me that you would have quit your job. I know some people could do it, right? I have, especially the freaking, why are old people so different? But I had at my old job, there was a boomer who, he seemed to be all about, like, work and stuff like that. And he was talking about how, you know, nowadays, young people want, like, paternity leave, right? Paternity leave is a relatively, like, new progressive thing. And he was saying, like, that's so ridiculous. Back in my day, after my wife gave birth, that first month, it was just like I worked a full-time, and then I went home and I took care of my kid basically full-time, and it really was that first month I just didn't sleep. And for you youngins to want something different than that is ridiculous. You guys are so entitled, so blah blah blah. And I was like, dude, why do you want people to suffer? Why is that what you want? Bless their heart, exactly. These boomers are like, I suffered, you should have to suffer. So suffer. I mean, good on them, I guess, for having the work ethic to, stomach through that. But that's probably also why a lot of younger people now have, like, issues because their parents didn't adequately take care of them. They don't realize, yeah, exactly. Especially financially, right? They're like, back in my day, I worked part-time at McDonald's and that paid me through school. And you're like, bro, back in your day, school cost like 10% of what it costs now. Tuition nowadays is literally just so preposterously more expensive than it was back then that, like, they literally can't even fathom how many hours it takes to pay off school. You will literally never, if you work full-time at a minimum wage job, you'll probably never pay off your student loans if you take full student loans for your entire tuition. And that's kind of nasty. It's messed up. But I don't know. Now I'm all sad about the state of the world, even though, like, we should be happy, right? Because the world is generally a good place. You know, in a lot of ways. We should be happy that, you know, we're not in danger of starving to death. We're not in danger of being, you know, gored by wild boars or anything like that. As the poors do. It's weird because even in the US, even the poors are not worried about starving to death, right? You know, the quote-unquote poors. Like, I think even homeless people are not necessarily starving to death. They're dying of other things, which is still bad, but I think it can be way scarier in other countries. But in the US, we're pretty good. Now, we have crazy other problems. We have racism. We have very corrupt, you know, law enforcement. We have socioeconomic massive barriers between the 1% and literally everyone else. But at least we're not starving. I don't know. Be happy for the wins that we do have, even while we strive to fix the things that are wrong with society. Is it 40% of the world doesn't have indoor plumbing? Now I have to check. I've not heard this before, but it sounds right. Indoor plumbing. According to UNICEF, 60% of the world's population do not have a toilet at home that safely manages human waste. Okay, I mean, that's kind of sad. 60% do not have waste management for their toilets. Oh yeah, I mean, fridges are kind of... It's weird how much we take for granted in terms of, like, small, almost infrastructural things. Like, fridges actually drastically increase our lifespan, from my understanding. Because having more reliable, safe-to-eat food is, like, a huge contributor in your lifespan. So, you know, we reap a lot of rewards. A lot of rewards of engineering and human ingenuity and tech, you know? On the other hand, you know, we're probably all getting cancer from our microwaves, but worth it, trade. Worth it, because if I can't have microwavable food, then I might starve. should be fine. The cancer should be fine. I mean, when I was young, I hung out with people who maybe were not the best influences on me because they were like, I don't need sunscreen. By the time I get skin cancer, they'll have developed a cure for skin cancer. So now your girl is really bad at putting on sunscreen. And it has made your girl's skin really not that good. Really not that good skin. I wish I'd taken better care of my skin. And your girl is starting to worry about skin cancer. I still have delivery? I mean, I guess. But when I use the microwave, I'll say I don't actually normally use the microwave that much for like frozen food. I use the microwave a lot for leftovers. Right? Because, you know, leftovers either are microwave or toaster oven. One of two options. That's really all there is. You'll be surprised if you don't get cancer. I mean, of course, right? Because at the end of the day, mystery, everyone's going to get cancer, right? Especially men. I think men, it's like literally just a matter of time before you get prostate cancer. So, you know, don't plan on living to be 110. It's maybe better if you don't live past 80. What do you mean, what about pizza, mystery? Pizza definitely fits in those categories. You could microwave pizza, or you could toaster oven pizza, but it's still one of the two categories. The categories are you microwave it, or you toaster oven. And I think pizza honestly fits into both. Oh, you're a cold pizza eater. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't think I would do it. I always toast my pizza, so it's nice and hot, and the cheese is all melty and delicious. I enjoy my food hot, like it was meant to be. Now that I think about it, I don't think I eat anything cold from the fridge. Besides maybe fruit, when I had fruit. I don't buy fruit that often nowadays. But fruit from the fridge is nice and refreshing. Cool, juicy, enjoyable. But, is there anything I eat cold from the fridge? No. No, I actually can't think of anything I eat cold from the fridge. Potato salad? Dude, who do you think you think I just keep potato salad in the fridge? If I have potato salad, I'm eating it when I get it. And I'm probably not bothering to save leftovers. I don't think I even would normally get, like... Potato salad is one of those things I'll only eat if it's already there. It's not something I'll order, right? Like... Because it's definitely a worse side than so many other things. I think my go-to side for... Like, most of the time, when you go to a place that has potato salad, it's probably a place that's serving, like, fried food or something of the sort, right? And if I'm going to a place that serves, like, fried food, my go-to side is probably going to be coleslaw. Coleslaw. Again, coleslaw, not something I'm normally trying to save as leftovers. I guess coleslaw is something I would eat cold, but like I said, not something I'm trying to save as leftovers. So. You say potato salad is far superior to coleslaw? I think you have a problem. I think you have a problem. I'm diagnosing you here as tasteless. I think you're tasteless, and you have bad taste in food. You have good taste in VTubers because you watch me, and you will continue to watch me until the day you die. But, your coleslaw takes are bad. One of us has a problem? Yeah, it's you. I think. Pretty sure. It couldn't be me, because I'm perfect. I'm perfect. I'm the best. I'm an idol. I'm what every human being should strive to be. And that is two-dimensional. Every human should strive to be two-dimensional. I wonder what my coworkers would think if they knew I did this. I would probably never live it down. Or my cousins, God. Why are my cousins so judgmental? They also... Like, I don't drink. I've never drank. And my cousins were, like, looking at me like, you've never drank. Ever. Are you okay? What's wrong with you? Aren't you curious? Blah, blah, blah. And the whole night yesterday at the wedding, they were making jokes. They were like, oh, well, I got this wine. Now the struggle is trying to find a way to slip it into Belle's drink and see what Belle's like drunk. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, why would you, in what world is that, like, acceptable? And I guess they were joking, right? But, like, have some taste. Have some taste, you heathens. They're crazy. My cousins are crazy. They're talking about crazy stuff they did when they were younger and, like, crazy drugs they took. And I'm sitting there, like, awkwardly, you know, not fitting for the conversation because I don't even drink. I do, you know, have my vices. I like to spend way too much time playing video games, or watching anime, or streamers, or you know, any number of other, you know, degenerate things, but I can't believe that they made such a big deal about me not drinking. I thought family was supposed to accept you as you are, but no. Instead, my cousins are super judgmental. We'll see who's laughing when I'm the next Mr. Beast. Oh gosh. Shit. I remember that I have to get something done in the next 30 minutes. And I totally blanked on it. I think I will call it here for the night. Thank you for hanging out. I'm glad to have such great viewers who I can just chat with. I'm happy to get to know all my viewers and to hang out. And I had a good time tonight. And I hope you guys had a good time tonight, too. But I think I'm gonna call it. We'll be back again Tuesday, I think, for probably something sort of educational. I don't know yet. I don't know what topic yet. We'll figure it out. Or worst comes to worst, we'll maybe, like, do some reviews of something. But I think I've got some ideas. I'm just not sure which one to go with. So, Tuesday, back, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. And then next Friday and Saturday, we'll have more chill streams too. Alright, have a good one. Good night. Goodbye. Thanks for coming. I hope everyone has a good night and you stay safe. Bye-bye.